Hey, it's Tom. Thanks for joining me. We're going to take a quick look at Apex from Retouch for Me. This is a brand new plugin for Photoshop. That's one plugin with 11 retouch tools. It gives you real-time previews, runs in the cloud, so you don't need a powerful computer. In fact, on their site, it shows that you can use a 10-year-old Mac with this plugin. But you do need internet since it is cloud-based retouching. But you don't have to be a Photoshop geek either. There is a standalone program that I'll show you as well. So if you are like me that uses Lightroom and Photoshop, you're going to feel right at home using Photoshop. But if you have no desire to learn Photoshop, and you're happy with Lightroom or programs like Luminar Neo or On1 Photo Raw, you can just export your raw files into a JPEG format and use the standalone program. First, I'm going to show you the plugin using Photoshop. So here we are. I'm going to do Command J, Control J if you're on a PC, and that just makes a duplicate copy so we can have non-destructive editing. We'll go up to Filters, Retouch for Me, and select Apex. Make sure you agree to the cloud retouching, and it's going to upload the image. So the big advantage of this is once the image comes back, we'll be able to use these sliders to fine-tune exactly what we want done. We don't have to buy individual plugins. We just purchase credits. So it's a pay per image. Lots of photographers love this because you know exactly what your volume is and you can budget accordingly. You also don't have to buy all 11 plugins separately from Retouch for Me. So here it has returned the image. We can do a before and after in the upper corner. So you can see it's made quite the change to our image. But the nice thing is it shows exactly what it has applied. So whitening teeth, lifting heel, and dodge and burn. And then we can see real-time adjustments by going over to the sliders and slowly changing them or adding more. So lifting refines facial features. It's found in their new plugin called Face Make, and you can fine-tune it as well. So determine that it's a female, and we can change the shape of the face as well. This is one that if I use, it's going to be in very small amounts. So we can see before and after, just a ever so slight change. Healing is a great one for blemishes. Normally I leave that at the full amount. Same with dodge and burn. So let's take a look at this. Here is lifting. Again, that's the one that you decide if you'd like to use it. If I'm going to use it, it is going to be a small amount. Healing is going to remove small blemishes. She has really nice skin. So there's just a few small changes on her chin and a mole that was removed. So if we want to keep the mole, we would want to turn that off. Dodge and burn does a lot of the heavy lifting for retouching. You can see before and after. It helps decrease the smile lines and any eye bags. It even smooths out skin areas on the rest of the body. So instead of lifting, one that I love is portrait volumes. That doesn't really change the structure of the face, but it does add a lot of depth and dimension. So that's what I love to use. Eye vessels is going to help with any redness in the eyes. Eye brilliance adds a little sharpening to the eye, makes them pop. Skin tone is going to even out the skin tones throughout the entire body. Hers is very similar, so it's not something that we need. But if there was a drastic difference between her stomach area, the coloring there, and the coloring on her face. Skin tone would correct for that. Mattifier would be great if she had oily skin. Teeth whitening and brightening. We're going to lower the brightening a bit. White teeth is going to help if she has yellow teeth. We'll do that a little bit. Brightening is going to whiten them. And we'll do that a little bit. If she had wrinkled clothes, fabric would be great for that. And if there were wrinkles or marks on the backdrop, clean backdrop would be what we'd want to use. So that is perfect like that. We can apply that. We can also save this as a preset if we want to apply it to a batch of images. Let's hit apply. That's going to take us back into Photoshop. And here is the before and after. So an awesome retouch job from Apex. So if we wanted to work with multiple images in Photoshop, we would just create an action, then go to File, Scripts, Image Processor, and select the images, select the save location, and then select the action that we want to run. So very easy to do batch imaging in Photoshop. For those who don't want to be a Photoshop geek like me, Retouch for Me has made Apex a standalone program as well. All you need to do is, from Lightroom or any other editing program, is export your raw files into JPEGs and work from those. Let's take a look at that. So here is a folder of images that were converted from RAW to JPEG, and we'll start up Apex and then take that folder and just drop it in. So all we need to do now is choose a photo by clicking on it and then click on Start Retouching. It's going to go through that same process of uploading the image, doing all the retouching, so then we can just adjust sliders. And then we'll be able to batch edit all the images that were in that folder. A super quick and easy process. The only downside to this is you do need an internet connection. So here we have the image. Now all 11 tools have been added. Some of them are off, but we can quickly turn them on by clicking on the box. Let's zoom in a bit. We can do before and after. So one thing I didn't show on the last image is on lifting, we can leave the facial features alone, but we can add volume to the hair. Before, after. Before I was saying I wouldn't want to just change somebody's facial appearances without their request or without their consent, but hair volume. Tell me, who doesn't love bigger hair? And you can go crazy with that as well. But just a little volume here, that looks great. Healing again removes blemishes. Again, dodge and burn makes a huge difference, and you can fine tune that. Portrait volumes is what gives great depth and shape. That's one of my favorite plugins from Retouch for Me. So if you're liking a lot of these results from Apex, but you don't want credits per image, consider the plugins Heal, Dodge and Burn, and Portrait volumes. And then you can just keep a Photoshop workflow. Okay, I am going to zoom in again a little bit more. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Her eyes are pretty clean, so we're not going to see a huge difference with eye vessels. Eye brilliance is going to make a big difference. Her skin tone is pretty even throughout, so I'm going to leave that alone. Let's take a look at what mattifier is doing. That does reduce the shine. I kind of like highlights. Her shine isn't kind of like oily look. It's just a natural highlight. So you could definitely remove it. I would kind of split the difference and go there. One of the huge benefits with Apex is the ability to adjust all of these in real time. So with the teeth being a little bit too bright, we can tone it down and then just add it to our taste. There aren't any real wrinkles on her clothing, so we'll leave that unchecked, and same with clean backdrop. But here we have her image from before to after. So now that we have settings that we like, we could go up to presets and hit the plus sign and give it a name, headshots, and save it as a preset. And then we could apply that preset to all the different images and then start our batch processing. So super quick and easy to get professional retouching results, all with the new program called Apex from Retouch for Me. Hope you enjoyed this first look at Apex. Be sure to use my link below and you'll get some free credits, and you can test out the program for yourself. Until next time, keep shooting.